speaking to?
Raphael.
Can you speak a little louder?
I am Raphael.
Raphael?
Yes.
Thank you for coming, Raphael.
What do you need to know?
So many things. How to get this feeling out of me. Why Travis is tired. Why I am so tired. Why others are struggling to do this work.
Yes. The war is intensifying.
Mm-hmm.
The war is intensifying.
Yeah.
The Flash is getting closer, so they are trying to frustrate as many as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And they know this is really easy to do.
Mm-hmm.
Not for just beings on this planet, but every planet.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that they use the most is fear and pain.
Yeah.
Pain is usually easier to frustrate anyone because it's hard to concentrate and stay in the light. That's the easiest method they can use.
Yes.
The only thing we ask is for our light beings to fight.
Mm-hmm.
Fight as hard as possible. Do not get frustrated. Do not feel like you can't fight back, because that's what they want. I know it's not easy, but we have to. That's the only way this will work. And we know it will work eventually. It's just a hard fight.
What does it feel like for you?
I
Mm-hmm.
am a light being.
Yes.
We know that things are going to prevail.
Mm-hmm.
We don't feel like you feel.
Mm-hmm.
We know what we have to do to keep things going, so we just do it. We don't feel any pain, so it's easier for us. But our beings that went to these planets to do the work, it's harder in a physical body because it's easier for the negative energy to cause negative thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
So the only advice we can give all of our light beings is to fight. It may be hard, but you have to keep fighting.
I have a friend who is doing this work who can't see. She can't see through her third eye. What can she do to clear that? She's trying to meditate.
All she has to do is to fight and keep trying to meditate.
Okay.
We can only give you that advice. Everyone on the living plane has free will.
Mm-hmm.
We can only give you the knowledge you need to succeed. It is up to you to use it.
Mm-hmm.
You have free will. We can give you advice to do something. You can either choose to do it, or you can give up and not do it.
Mm-hmm.
But don't make that think that you are a failure if you give up. Because either way, when the flash comes, you will know what to do, and it will be automatic. So you will make up for it. So there's no need to feel bad about it at the present time, because you will know what to do when the time comes.
People have been asking me to ask, when is the flash? Can you tell us anything more about when?
You cannot give out the year or the time,
Yes.
because we have no time here.
Mm-hmm.
We can just see it happening.
I see.
We cannot give out the exact time.
Are there any other reasons you cannot give out the exact time?
That is the only reason.
Okay.
We don't have time here,
Okay.
so we can't tell you what time it will be, because on every planet, time is different.
Mm-hmm.
We just see it.
You said it's getting closer, though.
For us, it's always closer because we see it, but we also have a third eye ourselves,
Oh.
so we can feel that it is getting closer, because when we see it on our side, the visions gets sharper.
I see.
So the sharper the visions, that's how we know.
That is very helpful to know.
The source knows
Mm-hmm.
when the exact time comes, but we do not ask that, mainly because we do not need to know that. It's not because the source thinks we might tell someone, because we would never do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's only because we don't really need to know, because we know it's going to happen, and when it happens, everything will be good, like it is where we are. Some people think that when the flash comes, it will be painful for some people.
Yeah.
That is a misconception from some people on your planet that take things the wrong way.
Yes. Well,
Some people have visions of the flash,
yes.
and they see people looking like they're in pain.
Right.
So that's why they think they will be in pain. But nobody will be in pain. They will just be surprised. They will not feel any pain when the flash comes.
I just saw a session where, a different kind of session, a little bit, but where the girl said that, well, I guess she wasn't talking about the flash, actually. She was talking about the energy coming in now. Is there energy coming in now to prepare for the flash?
Yes,
Okay.
it comes in little waves.
Waves.
There are little waves that are ahead of the big wave. It could be called
Let me see.
different things, like waves, the flash. The wave comes from what the image would look like when the flash comes. It will look like a wave of bright light, but after it hits you, all you will see was just light everywhere, and everything will be calm. We do know before the flash there will be some little turmoil, but it won't be long before the flash comes. After that, everything will be calm after the flash and good. There will be some beings that will take some people to their ships, even on other planets. They will not be alive so much when they get taken to the ships. These ships are also made of light in other dimensions, but those people will be taken to the ships so they can be taught and brought back down to the fifth dimensional earth.
Okay.
And everything will be calm. Everyone will not have to go to the ships, only the ones that will be having a hard time. But they will not know how long they've been on the ships, because when they come back down, it'll be instant, so they wouldn't even know they were even on the ships.
Okay.
The fifth dimensional earth will be all good, and everyone will be happy. You'll still be able to feel things. Everything will feel solid like it is on your planet right now, but everything will just be brighter and nicer. Everything will be different. There will be no chain of nothing will be killed anymore. There will be animals, but there won't be animals that have to eat other animals to live.
Yes.
No one will have to eat anymore. Nothing will have to eat. They will still be able to reproduce, but nothing will have to die. And when they reproduce, it would not make the earth feel like it's getting overpopulated, because the earth will be a little bit bigger, just in a different dimension.
Will the earth look like it looks now, kind of, or different?
Some of the land masses will be different, but it will just be brighter. The water will be bluer. The skies will be brighter, but it will not hurt anyone's eyes.
Sounds beautiful.
It would almost be like it is here, where I am, just on the earthly plane. No wars, nothing negative will be on your planet.
Why is that happening now? Or why is it coming to that point?
It has happened many times on your planet.
Okay.
Back millions of years ago, your planet has recycled many times. The flash has come more than once. One example is when you had Lemuria and Atlantis. It was very good at the beginning, and it was on the pain of the same path as you are right now. And the flash came. It also caused tsunamis that destroyed those places. Those places were actually more negative than your planet is right now, so you are fortunate that your planet right now won't have to be destroyed like it was before, mainly because Atlantis and Lemuria were the only populated places at the time, so it was smaller, and it was their fate to be destroyed, but they were getting close to being the fourth dimension, but it just got sidetracked with so much way more negative energy than is going on right now, so they had to be destroyed. But they were not killed, they were just destroyed, and they came back up to us, and they were recycled again. So they were not dead in our language, they were just taken off the planet and recycled in other lives to rebuild.
So, if a person is recycled, do they get to keep their memories?
No one keeps their memories when they're recycled because it will not help them. Some people have some memories of past lives, but it's not to the point where it would harm them. But usually they only remember them when they're a small child, and then the older they get, they forget because they're being taught other things, so they don't remember. Pretty much everyone that is recycled remembers everything when they're an infant, but they can't tell anyone because they can't talk. Sometimes when they can talk, they will say things about being in another life, but nobody listens to them because they think they're just being children and making stuff up.
That sounds like they ultimately get to keep their memories, though, on the other side. Is that right?
Yes, on the other side, once you get over here, you know everything.
Yeah. So
that's why
go ahead.
some of the light beings on our side like to go back down because they would like to just relearn certain things. When the flash comes, that will stop for a while on this planet anyway, because it will be in another dimension. It will be all light, and all light, they will be just like here where I am, so they will know everything. People will even be able to fly and do all kinds of things that they thought they could never do. So it will be almost like here. And other beings that travel to this planet when it's the fifth dimension will mostly be here like they do now, just observing. They won't be able to hurt anyone because they know they're all light beings. So they will just come to observe, maybe.
Why do they come to observe? Why do they do that?
The other beings that you call the Greys or any other beings have more technology than you do, so they can travel anywhere they want. They know about the light at some point, but they are also learning about the light. It's the same as you are. So
are they negative beings, or are they different kinds?
there are some negative beings, but there are some that are just beings that are learning about different entities.
Okay.
So some of them can even time travel, like you so-called time travel. They can go ahead or backward. Some of them already have seen this planet in the light phase, so they always come back to when it's the not light phase, just to see how they were before.
Really?
And documenting it, because on their planets, some of them don't have anything about the light, so they are learning the same as you are. They even have some on their planet that's learning how to do what you are doing right now, is meditating and going into past lives.
Wow.
So they're doing the same thing, just in a little different way, because they're more technological.
The Greys are.
All other alien beings are,
Okay.
not just
Not just
the Greys. They all have to learn about the light.
Okay.
There are some beings inside your planet that know about the light. So honestly, the Flash is already inside your Earth, in some parts of your Earth where beings are living. There are light beings that's living down there. They will just come up when the Flash comes here, and they will finally be able to stay above the Earth.
Is that why they stay? Why do they stay down in the Earth?
They stay in the Earth to balance it. They actually balance the good on your planet.
Really?
They can come up sometimes, but only just to observe, or sometimes they will come into these kind of meetings through people, because they can come in or out. They are not solid beings. They are totally light beings, and they are mostly left alone from the other beings that lives in your planet. There are other beings that lives there, but they don't go near the light beings, because they know they cannot really harm them. So they just let them be.
Because they're light beings, they can't harm them. Is that why?
Yes, they cannot hurt light beings, because the light beings are like me.
Yes.
So we have a place inside your planet, and other planets as well. When the Flash comes, they will all come to the surface.
Are those planets in our galaxy?
In the whole universe.
The whole universe.
The thing about the light is it's universal. That's one thing we try to tell many people in these kinds of sessions, that you have to think bigger. You can't think just for this planet. You have to think about the universe when it comes to the light, even though it's harder for you to think that because you don't have space travel yet. And it's harder for them to get through that because they are taught that there is no space travel, which actually there is space travel on your planet. You're just taught that it's not there. They do not want to disrupt what they have going on your planet, but it will come out sooner or later, which that will cause part of the chaos on your planet before the Flash, because everyone would be upset because they were lied to.
What are they going to find out?
They will find out everything. Everything that they were taught was a lie.
Everything.
Everything is not correct. You see something, and everyone always have a different story.
Mm-hmm.
The story gets passed down and changed.
Yes.
So pretty much everything that most people are learning on your planet is not correct. Like, one thing I can tell you is everyone on your planet has a mind capacity to do whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
You can fly if you want.
Mm-hmm.
But you were taught simple things that you could not fly.
Right.
If you were born and you seen other people flying, you will automatically be able to fly also, because you see it and your mind is wired that way. But since you were taught that you could not fly, then you will not fly. Whatever you were taught, that's what makes the person you are. And that's on every planet. Your brains
Mm-hmm.
are very, very special, but they are limited because of what you have been taught.
Why are we doing all of this? Why do we come and do all this? What's the purpose of it all? To take on these bodies?
To take on the bodies was to challenge, to see if we could change anything on the planet. But there is so much evil on this planet. No one ever gets the chance to get that far,
Mm-hmm.
because they will be destroyed or killed.
Mm-hmm. I have a question about that. This is a hard question because there is a great debate about it. Some people do not have, well, it's about entities and attachments. Do entities, are they able to attach to us?
Yes, but the entities do not really exist. The entities are what you create.
So we do create them.
Yes, there is negative energy. Negative energy is always around. The negative energy comes from the space. It's always around. It just hangs around. It usually just floats around. It's always around.
Mm-hmm.
And it waits for anything to have negative feelings, and then it latches on to that.
Yes.
And it makes it worse.
Yes.
So it's not necessarily an entity, it's just an energy.
An energy.
And it's easy to get rid of the negative energy.
How do we do that?
You just do not give it any power. You almost pretty much just ignore it. It's not that difficult, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Your husband does it all the time. Sometimes it gets to him, but it only lasts maybe a few minutes, then he gets over it.
Yes, I have a harder time.
You are an empath.
Uh-huh.
But empaths, but you cannot use empath as a negative,
Uh-huh.
because if you do, then that makes it easier for the negative energies to get into you. Because if you say, it's hard for me to do this because I'm an empath,
Mm-hmm.
the negative energies like that because they know it's easy for them just to get to you.
Okay.
They'll just do something really bad, or somebody tells you a sad story and it brings you down, and it's easy for them to stay in you. The cool thing about empaths, though, is they're the best light workers, because when the flash comes, they will be most of the top leaders into the fight and helping people turn into light. They will not feel sorry for anyone. They will just know how to empathize with them and show them how to get out of things. To be a strong empath is to feel somebody's feelings, but don't let those feelings get into you. You can just understand them and be like, okay, and you can help them.
Yeah,
Your husband thinks he's not an empath, but he actually is. He only helps people when they need it. If he hears a sad story and the person is around, then he will try to help them. He will feel their pain, but he will not let their pain get into him. He will just recognize it and be able to help them. Sometimes they can't really hear it because he speaks like us. It almost sounds robotic to them, so they think he's not sincere.
Yeah.
So he mostly doesn't say anything because he knows it won't get to them just by the way he speaks. He speaks in a strong manner, so they think that he's picking on them or something, and he's not. He's just trying to tell them how to get out of the situation. But
Okay. So empaths, there's a lot of empaths struggling right now. Not just me, there are many others.
yes, the war is intensifying. They are attacking the empaths first because they know those are going to be the strongest ones when the flash comes, and they're trying to limit those people.
So why would it being an empath make you a stronger? Why?
Like I just said, when this flash comes, you will be able to help people better to cope with the flash.
Because we can put ourselves in their place.
Yes.
So not everyone can do that. Is that?
No, not everyone can do that, because you care more than non-empathic people. Most non-empathic people are selfish. That doesn't mean they're bad people. They just can't register it. If somebody's crying or something and they can't deal with that, and they'll just walk away. Or
Okay, I see.
those people are not empathetic. It don't mean they're bad people.
That helps.
But those kind of people, some will be able to deal with the flash because they're really independent. And then there are some that are really are selfish, and they will probably be scared when the flash comes. So those will be the ones you will have to help. It's kind of hard to tell which ones are which, but that doesn't matter, because that's not your job to tell which ones it is. So the main thing is just to help people stay in the light and stay strong.
So how do we... I find myself looking at different parts of my mind and trying to control my feelings and things. But do you have any ideas of how we can do that? Is it just... Usually you guys tell me just do it. Sometimes I have to think of little ways.
The best way to do it, if you see something, for empaths it's harder for them, but you have to figure out a way to compartmentalize it. If you see something and you see someone that's having a breakthrough with the light, you can just feel good for them. Don't never feel sorry for them, because that's putting out negative energy. If you see something and you're crying, it has to be happy tears. You can't be crying because you feel sorry for them, because that's counterproductive, especially in the work that you're doing as this kind of work. You have to be strong. And don't let it affect you because it has nothing to do with you.
Okay.
If it has nothing to do with you, then it's counterproductive. You can care for someone and not let their problem affect you because you are not there, so it should not affect you.
Yes.
It's harder for empaths to get that, but once you practice it, you'll get used to it and you'll be fine.
Okay.
Because when you do that, that kind of makes your body worn down.
It does.
And it will
So
make you
tired.
sick.
Yeah.
So anything negative, you have to fight back and say, no, I am not going to let that bother me. I got stuff I have to do. I got to stay focused.
Right.
That is what your husband does.
Yeah.
He's been doing it most of his life, actually, and it actually has been working pretty good because it makes him stronger. You have to not let anything negative affect you. If somebody tries to give you bad news, just tell them you do not want to hear it. Unless it's a death in the family, then you can hear it.
Right.
That is different because you have to go through a grieving process. There is nothing wrong with that because that personally affects you. But if a friend, family member dies, you can feel sorry for them a little bit. But if you're not in their family and you let that bring you down, that is not good.
Yeah. Okay.
You are not in that family.
That's
That should
right.
not bother you that bad. And if it doesn't bother you that bad, that don't mean you're selfish or you're an evil person.
Okay.
That's thinking smart and keeping your light up because you are not part of that problem.
Okay. That's good. What about people that I have a friend who says that her work is really negative. So how can she shield herself there? Just imagine herself being protected, or just imagine light.
Yes. It's a big challenge, but you can either do that or take yourself out of that situation and find another place of employment.
Yeah.
But if you stay there, then you have to fight. You have to stay positive.
Okay.
But if that does not change, you have to get out of that situation because it will just keep bringing you down.
Right. That makes sense.
Sometimes people are really good at blocking it in bad situations, but the negative energies don't like that. So they will try to cause some kind of altercation. But they don't realize when they are doing that, they're actually helping you because you will leave that job and go somewhere nicer.
Yes.
And that kind of makes them angry because they don't want to help you. If you leave and go to a better job, then they get upset because they think you're just going to stay there and just be miserable. So they do not want you to leave.
Right.
One thing I notice is we're around your husband all the time. His job is not terrible at all.
No, it's not.
It's actually, it doesn't have any negative energy. Actually, it's just like an empty space.
Right.
And he feels lost there.
Yes.
So that's why he wants to leave.
He's very unhappy there. And I've thought about that. It must be because he's connected to the light.
Yeah, he's very connected to the light, and he can't really concentrate on the light there because he's always asked to do stuff. Or if he's not doing anything, then it's really quiet, and it don't matter. He just can't think.
Right.
It's just such an empty place. It's almost like a limbo, and he can't concentrate, and that's what makes him so exhausted. The only time he feels better is when he leaves that place.
Right.
And if he gets to do what he likes to do after work, once he leaves that building, his energy comes back up and he's doing what he likes. But he's still a little tired after he's done, but he would like to do that all day.
Yeah.
If he does it all day, then he will be fine.
Yes, he does like doing that. The other thing that we do.
Yes, and then what you're doing, we really want you to do this. You're really, really good at it. And I can tell that the negative energies are really, really, really messing with you right now.
I had a terrible time this week.
And the only reason why they're doing that, this is why I'm telling you this.
Okay.
They know you're going to be successful at it, and you're getting really close to being successful at it. So they're trying to slow you down as much as possible.
Is that what they're doing to my friend also?
Yes, because your friend is starting to catch on. Before, they didn't have to do much, and they knew she had lots of doubts. So that's why they kept putting a black wall in front of her where she couldn't see anything. Now she's breaking through it, and it's really making them angry.
I see.
So she will be successful too.
Oh, she's gonna.
There are some things that we can tell you. You will be successful, but we can't tell you about the light coming. But as far as life lessons, we can tell you that you're going to be successful at this.
Thank you.
Just in time before the light hits as well, which is perfect.
So why is it helpful for us to do this before the light hits, if the light's going to make everything okay? What is the purpose?
Because it's rewarding. It's really rewarding, and that's what we would like for you to do. Because it's a war against the negative energy.
Can you tell me a little bit more about... I had a question about that, and about how we create the darkness ourselves too, because it feels like it's not us, you know.
But you do create it, because if you think negative, then that's like I said, the negative energy is always around. But anytime you have free will. You don't have to think negative. You have free will, and they know that. So they hope that you think negative, then they just latch on to you. And they just do stuff to you to cause you pain, and it will slow you down. And they'll keep doing it. But the only time they can't mess with you is if you're on a roll and you're like chugging along and the light is just all over you. They can't mess with you. You actually had that powerful light like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And something happened where you had like a little nudge of negative energy, and then they slashed onto you, and then they started poking at you, and that's why you are in pain right now.
Do they plan those little events to try to like make us a little depressed?
No, they don't have to plan. They just wait.
They just wait till something happens.
They're floating around.
So are they thought forms that we've created? Or is it the collective that created them? Or like...
No, the negative energy has always been around since the beginning of time. It's negative and light. It's always been those two. It just floats around.
So we can grow in this place? Is that why we do that?
The negative, fighting the negative helps you grow. But like once the flash hits, then everything would be okay. And then we know it's just going to be light everywhere. It's up to the source to decide if he wants to start over again, which we can't read what he does. So
yeah, I was going to ask what happens to the earth since it's been through these cycles. Will it do that again, or will this be the end?
And we don't know that. All we know is what has to be done right now. So, and that's not really important anyway, because it's basically all about the light and the light beings. Because what we try to tell you is you're a light being. Once you pass over, then you'll know all of the answers that you're asking right now. It just comes. You'll get all the knowledge back once you pass over. You get all of the knowledge back.
So being, like we were saying, being recycled into the light. That some people think that happens to people who do bad things, that they get sucked up into the light and they just don't get to remember anything, and they're just...
No, once you pass over, you remember everything. So that's not correct.
That's false.
Which is another thing about living. Being in the living, a lot of information is incorrect.
Yeah, there's so
It's
much.
it's not really. We make different. How can I say it? We make different characters. As long as they're good characters, we make them so they can be seen as something good. But it don't matter what the character is; it's still just light. Some people see some kind of animal, or like a dragon.
Oh, yes.
Dragons are they're actually a real animal, but they're not extinct. They're just in the Middle Earth, and every now and then one might come out and somebody will see it, but they live in the Middle Earth now. So they're real, but we use those as light characters. Mostly one population on your planet, you call Asians. They use dragons for a lot of their religions, but it's a real animal.
What?
And then we use them as light beings. Sometimes some people will see a light dragon.
Yes.
Anything out of light, we can turn anything into a light. We can make a dog a light. Somebody can see a dog made out of light or something, and they can turn that into a thing. Pretty much everything you hear on your planet, if it has anything to do with light, that's what you are. That's what it is. So it don't matter what it is, as long as it's light, then it's good. So
Okay. Some people are scared of these sessions too. They're worried about what might come through.
right, it's only because what they've been taught on your planet, mostly with the religion and stuff. And it's another way to keep people in the dark on your planet. They've been taught just basic stuff that pretty much was not real.
Do we ever have negative beings come into these sessions and try to be something else? I don't.
Sometimes a negative energy can come into a session, and they'll cause the person to create a being. Like the negative energy will come in to sneak into one of these sessions, and they can be like, okay, I'm gonna look like a horned thing or whatever.
Yeah.
Scariness.
Something
I
scary.
seen a negative thing.
I see.
Really, it was just a negative energy, and it made them make that up.
That is so helpful.
Yes. So that's exactly what it is.
Okay. So when people see or think they've got a negative entity or something, that's what they're doing?
Right. Because there is no such thing as a negative entity. There is negative energy. The entities come from whatever you make it.
Oh, thank you so much.
Which is another being that you have on your planet, which they call the devil or Satan. Some one on your planet had negative energy, and they saw him, and they just, okay, he must be, no. It's just nothing like that. Our whole being is just the source and light. There is negative energy, but there are no negative beings.
Wow.
There are no so-called demons. No such thing. They're just things that pop up from the mind.
Okay.
But you can give those negative energies power, where they can actually almost become solid and move things and throw things. It's all just negative energy. But if someone was never scared of anything, then they'll probably never see a negative energy, because nothing would scare them. And there are some people that are like that, so they never see negative anything.
Okay. That's really good information.
Yes, it's actually really not too complicated, but since the way you've been raised, and they just make things complicated there.
Yeah. I've heard you guys say that before, that we make it complicated.
Yeah.
Really complicated.
Matter of fact, right now we are healing you as we speak to you.
I could feel that.
We know they've been messing with you, so we are healing you as we speak to you. Because we really want you to get this done, because you are going to be very special. Also, we want you to not compare yourself to anyone else that is doing your job, because everyone has something different. And you do not have to do what they do. These sessions are very simple. And you already picked it up already. So just do your style. Stick to your style, and you will be successful, because we see it. We see it.
Oh, thank you.
We do see it. So don't never get frustrated. We are with you. Just remember that.
Yeah.
Even if you feel some pain, that's just them just really, 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 really trying to mess with you. So we know it hurts. We try to fight them off for you too. But just fight it.
Yeah.
Please just fight it, because you have to do this, and you have to talk to more people.
It was my fault. I let myself think some negative thoughts and say some things, and
yes,
yeah, it was my fault.
Yes,
I know.
It's real easy to do.
Yeah.
But we don't mind. You can talk to us anytime you want, and we'll get you out of it.
Thank you.
We will get you out of it. That's what we're here for. So if you feel something trying to mess with you,
yeah,
you can talk to us. Your husband does not mind doing it, because he knows he's the best way for you to hear it really fast without having to hear it from other people.
Why does it make him so tired? Or is there a way to make it so he's not so tired afterwards?
We use a lot of the body's energy when these sessions.
Okay.
If someone is not tired when they do this, either they took something before and they have a lot of energy, or it is not true.
So it is tiring for people that do what Travis does.
Yes, because they are not awake. They are really sleeping. You rarely see anybody pop up from a deep sleep when they just in the morning, do you? Like,
I don't.
Right.
I know I don't, but maybe some other people.
As far as I know, unless they have a lot of energy, nobody jumps up from a sleep laughing and ready to go after 8 hours of sleep. There's no way. We use a lot of the energy because we use it to use the vocal cords. That is not an easy thing to do.
I wondered.
So there is no way someone can do this and just pop up. If they do, they might have a lot of stored energy that's bottled up. It's possible, which is not bad, but if they can do that, then that is very well good on them.
How can people know which people, well, people call it channeling, and that puts up red flags even for me. I'm like, I don't know what I think about that, but I know what I feel when you guys come through, so I know it's you.
A lot of them may be fake, but the only good thing about that is if it's fake and nobody really knows and it helps them get through something, then it still work as doing something good.
Okay. I had another question for you about the dragons. It came through in one of my sessions this week about I think they are called Sophia dragons. Are those real?
Those are the entities that I was saying earlier, that they're mainly just light. Someone saw them as dragons because it helped them see the light more. They were
Okay.
just flashes of light that maybe popped up looking like dragons. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, though, because either way, they're for good.
Okay.
So it don't matter if they're dragons,
Yeah.
a bird or anything. As long as it's light and it's good, then that's all that matters.
Okay. Interesting.
Yes, there is no such thing as light dragons. They're real dragons, but light dragons,
No light dragons.
no.
Okay.
But you can see light dragons if you wish.
I guess it's like you said, if you think of it as a positive thing, then it's
Yes,
not gonna hurt anything.
yes, yes,
It sounds like we are able to create a lot with our minds.
yes. It's mostly a mind thing. As long as the mind thing creates anything with light, then it's good.
Why is there a war happening?
War is mostly because the negative energy has taken over in some parts, and that's all they know. They're afraid. It's fear and war. And unfortunately, a lot of people in power are the ones that are controlling that.
Yeah.
That's why your planet is the way it is. But they don't have more power than us, so it doesn't matter what they do.
Okay.
The flash and the wave will take care of that.
So the flash, well, I think I've got the idea. The flash and the wave, you could kind of call it the same thing. Is that right?
They're pretty much the same thing. It comes in a flash, but it'll appear as a wave.
Okay.
So you can say both.
Yeah, both. Okay. And then right now, the energies that are coming in, those energies coming in.
Yes, it's intensifying because it's getting closer.
What do those energies do? Do they, are they helpful for us to prepare? Or, like, what do they do? What is the energy coming in for?
The negative energies are just around just to do bad things.
Oh.
That's just the only main goal. The source made the negative energies, but that's only because it was a teaching tool.
Okay.
And like I said, once the flash goes and all that'll be over, there will be no more negative energies unless he chooses to start it over. The source is light, like us. Usually when we give messages, sometimes we say she, sometimes we say he. It doesn't matter.
Right.
We just say it for reference for when we do a session. It will help people on your planet. So it really doesn't matter if it's she or he or it. It's just the source.
Which is what people would call God, maybe?
Yes.
Okay. Is the energy coming in right now source energy that we feel?
The source energy is always around. It's kind of hard to explain. The source energy is always around, and the negative energy is also floating around in it. But the source actually has more power than the negative energy. But it lets the negative energy have free will as well. So you have free will and the negative energy have free will. That way the test works, because if the negative energy has free will, then it just waits for someone to have negative energy. They also have free will. They either accept the negative energy or push it away.
Some people think there's light coming maybe from source right now that's more intense. Is that happening or no?
It's intensifying a little at a time, but it's always been that way. When the flash comes, it will just take over.
Why does it intensify a little bit at a time?
Because the more it intensifies, the less negative energy can do harm. That is the gift the source gave us. If the source did not do that, then the negative energy could almost take over.
Yeah.
And that would not help the test.
Okay.
If you do not have any extra light coming in, then the negative energy can spread, because the negative energy has free will. The source can stop it if he wanted, but that would be defeating the test.
The test.
So the extra light coming in is almost an extra push to help people on all planets to get to the light.
Yeah.
Without that, the negative energy would almost be able to take over. Mainly because of free will. Because free will is a powerful thing. It's easier to be negative and scared than it is to be powerful and happy. Fear is the easiest thing to catch. And fear.
So we do all this so that we can learn? Is that why? So
Yes, it's to learn a lesson on your planet. Because if you don't have any negative energy or evil, then you're not learning anything. That's why when the flash comes and it's all over, you won't have to learn anything. You already learned everything. It'll be like, here I am. You don't have to learn anything because you already know everything.
Yeah. And people talk about us. Also, ascension. Is ascension real? Is that really a thing? Becoming an ascended master, say.
Yes, but they're taking it the wrong way.
Okay.
When you pass over, you turn into an ascended master.
So you already are.
Yes.
So
You
we
are already an ascended master. You're just learning new things.
Okay.
But see, people on your planet take master as being the top dog. That's not the case. Just because you have master in the word does not mean that you're better than anyone else. No light being is better than no other light being.
Right.
We are all the same. So we're pretty much all ascended masters.
I have not heard many people say this at all.
That's what a miscommunication comes in.
Okay.
Some people forget to ask. Mostly on your planet, people hear information and they just take it as it is.
Right.
They hear certain words and they assume one thing. If they think they hear the word master, on your planet, master means you're the boss.
Right.
That's not the case.
I think.
You're all pretty much ascended masters. You're just down there learning.
Yeah.
When you come here where we are, that does not exist. There is no such thing as an ascended master. We're all just light beings. That's it. No one has another title. You're just a light being.
Okay.
That's it. You do not come on the other side and be something higher than anyone else.
Okay. For example, let's say Yeshua. Yeshua is very powerful. Is that just, he's just powerful? He's just learned a lot.
Yeshua has the same power as everyone else up here. No one has more power than the other. Like I said, everyone is the same.
The same. Okay.
Like I said, that's another miscommunication on your planet.
Yeah.
People like to put everything in a box. That is not true.
Okay.
You are all the same thing. The only good thing about it is you're speaking of light beings.
Right.
But try not to put everything in a box.
People are waiting for him to come back. And, well,
when the flash comes, we will all come down there.
okay.
But you will recognize us. But you won't worship us because we're all the same.
Oh,
that's what
really
we try to
helps.
put in people's minds, is we are all the same.
Okay, that helps so
No,
much. Thank
we
you.
are not better than anyone else. We are all the same.
Yes, okay.
That's one thing about your planet that gets everyone confused, because they pick one guy and they say, okay, we'll make him the top guy. It's like, no, you can't do that, because we're all the same.
That makes so much more sense to me now.
There is no top guy. We are all the same.
Yeah. I know people get messages of him coming back, So that helps me to understand it a lot better. Why they would get that.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that.
We're all coming back. Even the one you call Jesus is coming back, that's mostly the main one that people on your planet knows about.
Right. But the people on the planet are light beings too, right?
Right. Everyone is a light being. Yeah. Everyone in the universe is a light being.
Yeah. We've just forgotten. Or in some cases we've forgotten, I guess, who we are. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I don't know if there's... I could keep you here all day, but...
That is the most important thing, that everyone is the same. We have to make sure we get that out.
Yeah.
That's why these sessions are good.
I noticed that's really coming out in when Travis and I do this, when Metatron came last time and talked. That's mainly what he talked about, was that we were all the same.
Yes, that is mostly the main thing. Honestly, that's really the only thing that should be talking about. There are some that have past lives, which is really good to hear those too, because that lets people know that they have been coming back more than once doing the test. When you get here after coming over, we do give you a life review where you can see what you did.
Yeah.
But it's not to judge you, it's just to see, you can see what you did on that life. It's just a life review. It's not a test. Okay. It's not a judgment.
And do we pick everything that we will go through?
Yes.
So we know everything?
Yes, before you go down, you know exactly what you're going to do. You even know when it's going to end. But once you get down there, you just don't remember. You get wiped, except for when you're first born, you remember a little bit. Mostly you remember, the first thing you remember is when you died in the last life. That's pretty much the only thing you remember at first.
Right.
But like I said, the older you get taught other things, and it just goes away.
Is it important for us to go back and heal those lives like some do in sessions?
Usually the point of going back is you just want to try new things. There is no such thing as karma.
Oh, that's very good.
When you have children on your planet, it does multiply, but it's somebody you knew that comes back as your child. It could have been somebody else in your other life. The people that on your planet that don't have children in a life and they die, they usually don't go back. So I think that's where the karma comes in, because you call it karma, but we just call it extending your life through someone else.
Okay.
So you can call it karma, or you can just call it just extending your life. When you have a life and you have children, your earthly DNA go into that child.
Yeah.
And part of you goes into that child. So it's kind of like you split, maybe living part of your life in the new child while you're here. So that gives you the link where you could watch them when they're down there.
So what is karma then? It sounds like that, I think, has been misconstrued too. Is that right? Or
Yes,
misunderstood?
most people on your planet, when karma happens, if you do something bad to someone, and then you get something bad happen to you, that's usually like karma or something like that.
Right. That's what people think it is.
That's not necessarily karma. It's just, if it's your DNA.
Interesting.
Your DNA is inside the other person. Usually when somebody doesn't have any kids on your planet, they don't really have karma because they don't have nobody left on the planet to carry on their DNA to do other things. So as far as you and your husband, you won't have the so-called karma because you don't have any kids. Once you leave this planet, you're off this planet, like totally. Like there's no one. You don't have your DNA and no one else on there. But you'll still be able to see what's going on down here. But you won't have anybody with your genes on this planet anymore. So that's I guess that's where the karma comes from.
Okay. It's kind of hard for me to understand, like, how that works. Do you experience through your children?
Yes, if you have children and you die, you have your DNA in that child. So part of your life force is in that child.
Okay.
So when you pass over, you'll be able to watch them if you want, which is possible for you to come down, and I guess that's what they say down here. They call them ghosts. They might see you sometimes, or you can just come in their dreams and see them that way. But you can always watch them if you please.
But are you experiencing their life? It's so confusing to me.
No, you can't experience their life. You can just see it.
Okay.
You're not alive anymore, so you can't experience their life. You can just see.
I remember, like, Dolorescannon saying that if we didn't get along with somebody, or if we didn't do something a certain way, we'd have to come back and do it again.
Oh, well, unfortunately, she feels sorry that she said that, but
she does. Oh dear. Okay.
She actually saw that the wrong way. No.
Ooh, I'm gonna get in trouble for this.
When you die, you can just watch them. But if you do something bad to somebody on the earth, that's what you knew what you're gonna do when you got down there.
Yeah.
So it didn't just happen. You knew that was gonna happen.
Yeah.
So that's why I say there's no karma or anything. You knew that was gonna happen. So yeah, it's not like on your planet where if someone is murdered and the person that murdered them goes to jail. It's not like that here. It's that because you knew that's what you're gonna do.
So if people come back as, say they kill somebody here, they don't have to come back and be killed? Or do they sometimes do it anyway, just to learn?
No, you choose what you want. If you kill someone and then you've never been killed before and you say, okay, I want to go back and be the person that gets killed, then you can do that. But you don't have to do that. We don't have any rules up here.
Okay.
There are no rules up here. We just...
Wow. It's a lot more simple than, and more loving than, I thought. It makes more sense.
Yeah, we don't have any rules up here. It's not like your planet up here. everything is simple. You go down, you know what you're gonna do when you go down there, you do it, and then you come back up, and
Yeah.
there's a cycle. Like I said, on your planet, that's the way your planet is run. Everybody thinks someone's got revenge, and all that does not happen here where we are. We're all light.
Okay.
You go down to do what you're gonna do, and you come back, and it has nothing to do with revenge or anything. It's just that's just the way it plays out.
People get here and they want to know why it's so hard, you know? They think that they were crazy for deciding to do these lives.
Yes, that's what happens when you go down to planets because you don't remember.
Yeah. Like I have a friend that's really, really going through a lot of pain. We had a session and he's suffering so much. And I don't know what to do. How can practitioners help people that are suffering so much?
Your job is to disperse light onto the planet.
Okay.
Your job is not to help your person you talk to through their problem. If it's their job to find the light
Okay.
on their own. If you do a session with someone many times and they can't get it, then it's not your fault.
Okay.
You are not there to heal anyone. You are there to show them the light. You are there to disperse light onto the planet. If someone wants to do a session with you and they want to be healed by something, you do the session, and if the session heals them, then it will. We usually do the healing while the session is going on.
Yeah.
Sometimes they ask us to heal them, which we can do, but sometimes it takes a long time and they get frustrated.
Yeah.
It never happens quickly. Sometimes it does. It depends on the person's body.
Yeah.
Some people have really beaten up bad bodies, and we can try to heal them as much as we can. But our healing process is we give them more light to heal. But it's the free will thing that actually works. They have to believe it. When we heal someone, we are putting extra light into them, and then they have to believe that that light is working on them. If they don't believe the light is working on them, then they will not be healed.
Okay. I see.
A lot of people on your planet have been told wrong, that they think that they will be healed automatically.
Yeah.
That is not how it works. We give you the light, and if you believe in the light, then it will work. Most people can heal themselves, but they don't know that.
Yeah.
That's why we have to do it that way. We give them some extra light, but they have to believe in it because it's free will. If they don't believe in it, then it will not work.
Okay. And sometimes, I know it takes me sometimes a little bit of time to get these new ideas into my head, you know. But they get in there eventually. It just takes a while of like pounding it in. And maybe that would help too.
Yes.
Just repetition.
People can do as many sessions as they want.
Do some need
Even
more.
if they're not having a bad time on the planet, you can still do a session.
Yeah.
These sessions are not just for people that are doing bad. These sessions are to keep the light going on your planet. Someone with a good life can still do a session, and it'll still be doing good towards the light. But we do not mind being asked more than once
Yeah.
either.
It helps.
Because we
Sometimes it helps.
do not get frustrated.
Yeah.
We just tell the truth about the light, and that's what we do.
Just to
And we
help
really
us.
appreciate you guys
We really
doing this.
appreciate you. So
All we want you to
much.
do is just we want you to keep doing this.
Okay.
Doing as many sessions as you can, because it does help.
I know one thing that some people have a question about with these sessions. They feel that they are making it up. And even I, at times, have felt that same thing.
Yes, it may feel that way.
Yeah.
You feel like you're making it up, but we are giving you the information.
So did I really channel or bring in Metatron to my last, the one that I did for myself?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Just because you hear yourself talking and you thinking you're making stuff up,
Yeah.
you are not.
I think
Some people think
Go ahead.
that they have to be totally under and don't remember anything,
Yeah.
but they don't realize that when they're talking, you can't make a lot of stuff up
Yeah.
just really fast like that.
Mm-hmm.
We are talking through you.
Yeah.
But like I said before, even if someone is faking
Uh-huh.
and they could do it,
Uh-huh.
the light words help people.
Uh-huh.
And people want to believe it,
Yes.
which we want them to believe it as well.
Yeah.
So it works. So it's not our job to see if anybody is being fake or not.
Yeah.
We just need to take the message of the light and anything good and use that in a positive light. Just keep it in your mind.
Mm-hmm. I think the reason I wondered was because I told myself things that I already knew. And I was like, well, I already knew that. And I knew that. And I knew
Yes.
that. I guess it
helps.
I'm listening to my higher self already. So is that?
Yes, it's your higher self giving you information. Sometimes it's us giving you the information.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense too. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, are you a healing angel? That's what you're known for, I think.
We are all healing angels.
Yeah. Why do you have that specific? Is that another earthly thing we've done? Or is
Well,
that
like
a
I said, they
specialty?
put us in boxes.
Yeah.
That is not good.
Okay.
Every light being is healing. You can heal yourself. Like I said before,
Yeah.
you can heal yourself. You do not need me to do that. You can do it yourself. But a lot of people think they can't,
Yeah.
so they don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
We are not made to be put in boxes like that. But if it helps with the light, then we just go with it. But every one of us can heal.
Yeah. You know, they always have pictures of the archangels and the different things that each one is known for, that kind of thing.
As long as it's all good, then we don't mind.
Okay.
But I do not want nobody being misinformed. We
Yeah.
are all healing angels.
Yeah.
We don't all have certain powers. We all got the same power.
How are you? How did you become angels? Did Source just say, I want to create angels, and here they are?
We are labeled as angels. Like I said, we are all the same.
Oh, wow, it's even deeper. Okay.
There are many of us up here.
Yeah, that's what Metatron
They
told
gave
me.
us those names. We don't have names up here. We are just here.
Yeah.
The people on your planet just comes up with names and it gives us names, and we just say that's who we are because it's easier for people to understand.
Do the other people or beings on other planets do the same thing?
Yes,
Really?
because that's the only way they can differentiate from
Yeah.
different things.
You have tons
There's
of names.
there's a lot of us up here. When you pass over, you will be able to do the same thing as me.
Oh, wow. That's exciting.
Unfortunately, on your planet, someone may come up with another name of another angel,
Yeah.
and they might not think he's real, but it's up to the individual to believe it or not.
There's also I've been curious about how higher selves are higher selves. Is that just something that a light being does?
Our higher selves, like for me, Travis's higher self is the same thing as me, but when we're called in, we just call in is what they call us into. So if somebody asks for Travis's higher self, and Travis has in mind who his higher self is, then that's who comes out.
Okay.
But his higher self is the same as me. We are all the same.
How did we get it so screwed up?
The higher self is actually you. Your higher self is you. When you die, you will be your higher self.
Yeah.
So when you talk to your higher self, you're actually talking to yourself, which is on this side. That's the advantage that most people on your planet don't know. That's what's good about these sessions, because when you go into a session and someone say, let me speak to the higher self, you're actually speaking to the person you're looking at. It's just their self on that side that knows everything that's going on. That side remembers everything. So in reality, you do remember everything, but the only way you would know it is if you talk to your higher self. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
And you can pick any higher self you want.
Okay.
So if you want to speak to Travis's higher self, you're actually speaking to Travis. You're just speaking to himself that's on that side.
Yeah.
It's helping his body move on Earth. So when he talks to his higher self, he might be talking to himself, but himself on this side. That's what helps him get through things.
Right.
So if you are ever in pain, you can talk to your higher self, and your higher self will actually help your pain go away, because your higher self will help you stay focused.
Okay.
And if you talk to your higher self and your higher self gives you negative feedback, then that means the negative energy took over.
Right.
And you're not talking to your higher self. So anytime you talk to your higher self and it sounds negative, you're not talking to your higher self.
Yeah.
Just ignore it.
Okay.
Just ignore it.
Yeah. I know that they can do that. Okay. Well, how's Travis doing? It seems like maybe getting the idea that maybe
we probably need to conclude this session.
I think so. Okay.
But you can call on us anytime you need.
Thank you so much. I feel so different. I feel so much better. Thank you. Thank you for all you do for us. And we appreciate you. We love you.
We all love you.
Thank you. I'll bring Travis back now.